Hey, welcome back to the ICE Project. Take number 2. I got Sammy from Double Tap Agency in the house. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
So every story needs an intro. How did you become Sammy Hardwick from Double Tap Agency?
Okay, cool. So I started out, I lived in America. I started doing social media in that space over there really lightly for a girlfriend. And then from there, when I came home, I worked for Woolies in the alcohol sector, and then for One Teaspoon, which is a denim label, doing their marketing, and realised that there was a huge need for social media agencies or experts in the industry, and then decided I'd go out on my own 2 years ago, and here I am.
Exciting. Congratulations on starting your own thing. I think we sort of started around the same sort of time, so it's been exciting to see you grow, and I've really enjoyed having you there to sort of ask questions, and especially in our early days. So how much has the scope of social media changed from, I remember the last podcast you said 2008 you started?
Yeah, so I moved to America just after high school, so I graduated in 2007, and it was in 2008 I started dabbling in it, and that was literally just Facebook.
Yep.
There was nothing really else in existence. I mean, everyone had MySpace too, but I didn't dabble in that when it came to marketing. Yeah. Which is interesting, I guess. Maybe that's why MySpace is dead. And then to now, God, it's a completely different beast. Huge beast.
It's how important is social media, like in today's society? Not only just for business, but just for like personal use.
Right? I personally, I think it's like crucial to business and life. I guess for me, I have a lot of friends overseas, so I can talk to them, be interactive with them, see how their lives are going, what their kids are up to, stay connected to them even though they're so far away. It half feels like they're here with me. Yep. So from a personal perspective, awesome. Yep. And then obviously from a business perspective, I think it's key to all businesses to be able to reach people all over the world with a click of a button.
It's essentially made the world such a smaller place, isn't it?
Tiny. Yeah. Tiny place. So you feel like you know people that are on the other side of the world that you've never met before.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you can talk to them just like that. Like if you're a guy chasing a girl, you can talk to a girl in England if you want.
Slide into the DMs.
and that's the crazy thing about it, but it's such a common thing, and it gives you access to a lot of people. It's probably got its bad sides to it as well, where there's a comparison. Like people compare lives, but I think today we're just going to strictly focus on the positives and its lead towards business. So Double Tap Agency, what do you guys do?
No, right. So we're a holistic marketing agency focusing mainly on social media, but we understand that there's a need for all aspects of marketing.
Including?
So we do website development for small to medium businesses, email marketing, SEO, Google AdWords, then we do social media management, advertising, consultation, the whole shebang.
Because I think people don't realise when they hear social media, they think Instagram, Facebook. In terms of like having a like marketing, like social media plan, you got to cover all those aspects. That's important.
Yeah, 100%. A holistic approach to marketing is key. It's all well and good being in one funnel and doing one funnel really well. So let's just say social media, you do it and you do it decently. But there's also people that you can engage with on the other platforms. So through Google advertising, through obviously your SEO, but that's organic. Then you've got your website, point of contact. There's heaps going on that you need to be across. And then obviously email marketing is massive as well. That's a way to be direct to your consumer. Huge conversion rates come through that. So a holistic marketing approach is the best way to go.
Perfect. I'm just going to segue off one of the things you said there, organic versus paid. Hot topic. Everyone wants to go the organic way because it's cheaper. What's your thoughts on both?
Okay, so I'm all about saving money where you can save money, obviously, especially if you're a small to medium business and you don't have massive marketing budgets. So it's really crucial to do your organic marketing to the best of its ability. But it gets to a point where that can only get you so far. So then it's about how you utilize the ad budget that you have to reach more people to get higher conversions.
How far is far in terms of like revenue? What types of businesses should only focus on organic up to a certain point? And I'm saying maybe up to 100K, 200.
Yeah, like if you don't have $1,000, okay, I shouldn't say that, but $1,000 a month of marketing budget will get you in a really, really awesome place.
When you're starting out, yeah.
Yeah. And I understand, like, for most businesses, you don't have that. I know I didn't have that. I had like a couple of $100 and I utilized that to the best of my ability as well. So I wouldn't say don't do it if you have a small budget.
Yeah.
It's just that it's harder to get the return on investment when you're not reaching as many people.
Yeah, 100%. And then a platform like Facebook ads, it's only going to get more expensive once all the big dogs start realizing everyone's eyes are on the phones. Am I right?
Yeah. Look, it's cheap compared to other traditional forms of advertising,
TV
obviously.
ads, print, paper.
Print, and then even your Google AdWords. I mean, that can blow out as well. So social media is an awesome way to hit your market at a lower cost.
Yep.
It's just making sure that you do it right, because you can still bleed money on those platforms. A good example is, like, I don't ever recommend anyone boosting their social media posts, especially in the beginning. It's all about building your ad from the back end.
I think this is a common mistake a lot of people make. They see their posts and Facebook do that nice little border around and they go boost post, let's get it in front of like 5,000 people for $50. So yeah, explain between the front and the back end of Facebook ads and the difference.
Yeah, so there's boosting, which is the front end, and then
don't ever boost. Don't ever boost.
Ever. I mean, you can boost, but then go into the back end of Facebook, which is Business Manager, and edit the ad out. There's way more options in there to make sure that you get a higher conversion rate. Also with boosting, it really limits your audience size and who you can go after, which is obviously then restricting where your budget goes. Yep. So if you head into the back end into Business Manager, and everyone needs to set it up, it's super easy. And you can get in there, create an ads, and you can target people for pretty much, I mean, anything. You can also create ads based on video views, engagement, conversions, remarketing. I mean, the list is endless.
It's exciting.
It's exciting.
It's exciting once you get in there and you sort of pick up the habit for it, but then you understand like why we buy so much shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, and look, I am probably a number one culprit for buying stuff on social media that I don't need. But I mean, the ad works.
Yeah, 100%. So let's wander back a little bit. Our first meeting, obviously knew a little bit before, just as on the social aspect, but sat down had a meeting with Sammy. 2016, we're on a cafe on the Northern Beaches and got recommended to her by someone. But she sat me down. She goes, "What's your email list? What's your social marketing plan?" And I had no fucking clue what she was talking. I was like, "Email list, what's that?" And that's like sort of marketing 101. But do you find that's a common thing with all new businesses and shit?
Yeah, I find it's really, really common. People go out there, start a business because they're experts in that field that they're starting a business on.
Yep.
And they know that they need to do marketing, but they actually just have absolutely no idea like what that even is.
Yeah, and we were culprit of that.
Yeah, you were really good at not knowing.
We were heavy, like, let's post it on Instagram and let's hope everyone buys it.
Pretty much.
That was our official first marketing strategy. Get our clothes on Corey and Chico and hopefully people buy it.
Yeah, well, really. And so I hit you up and I was like, have you got an email database? And you were like, what on earth is that? And I was like, okay, so we need to do that immediately. We need to capture everyone that comes to the website and purchases something or comes to have a look around. We need to grab their emails so that later we can whip them out when we have a sale or a new collection drop. And that's where we're going to get our first conversions.
You'll cringe at this. Oh, wait. I think we left our website on without having a newsletter on. You know. Next time you go on the website, you'll notice that newsletter things pop up. We went a whole year without having one.
Yeah, that is not ideal.
Yeah.
It's like when we build websites, it's like one of the first things on the list that we make sure is available when building out a new site. So yeah, that's not ideal.
And I think you'll notice this now if you're paying attention to this podcast. Next time you jump on a website, you'll see a newsletter pop up, and that's sort of the reason where they want to get you in and sort of tell the story of their brand. So speaking of that, storytelling and branding, how important is that for a business?
Oh, crucial. Number one, like you need to have a story to tell.
I generally think that's number one as well too.
100%. It's number one. You need to have a story to tell. You need to have a reason to speak to your audience, why your audience is engaging with you, why you're posting, why you're doing what you're doing. If you don't have a story to tell, then there's really no reason for anyone to buy into your brand.
Fact or fiction, does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter as long as you can tell it and be passionate about it.
In an artistic way.
Correct. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Because I've found myself, like, as I've grown as a sort of a business person into this clothing industry, and I look at a lot of brands and study them, and like they'll drop collections and they'll tell like all these like beautiful stories around. I was like, I was in Bali and I seen these colours on the sunset and all that sort of shit. And I know what they're trying to do, but I find myself going, oh shit, you know what? They're right. Like, that's cool.
Right. And
Yeah.
you like, obviously for a designer, I think in particularly with clothing, like there is a lot of inspiration behind what you do. So it's a lot easier to tell a story. But for other businesses, it's not so easy to tell a story because you don't have a beautiful product or there's no real design process behind it.
Yep.
So it's about creating a story that's true to you that you can then share with your audience.
Yeah, 100%. And let's talk about that. A lot of people do a service base or like their product isn't like, clothes are kind of cool. Like, do you know what I mean? Music, anything artistic is kind of cool. You had an example of trying to sell air conditioners, was it?
Yeah. I mean, they're not sexy.
Yeah, they're not. They sort of sit up on your wall. They're kind of noisy. They do a good job.
Expensive, not really good looking, and not everyone really needs one. So it's about creating advertising that is captivating to an audience that makes them think that they need an air conditioner, even if they really don't.
Yep.
And that can be really hard. So with that company in particular, what we did is we didn't really roll out organic content because it's hard on a day-to-day basis to find beautiful imagery of an air conditioner. So what we did is we created epic ads that we rolled out behind the scenes that drove people to buying an air conditioner.
Spot on. So what I've found with sort of marketing in your product, like I feel like you got to have good imagery for one. Your copywriting's got to be good as well, and your targeting has to be spot on as well. So if one of them, like that little triangle, if one of them's a little bit off, you can find yourself wasting a lot of money. Isn't that true?
Yeah, like the three core things in social media these days, particularly, number one is imagery. You've got less than a second to captivate your audience, and the first thing that they see is generally the image, whether that's Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, obviously Instagram.
Yep.
Image is key. So if you don't have an epic image, you've lost them.
You've lost them.
Gone. So then after that, once you've captivated them with the image, the next thing they're going to do is read your caption.
Yep.
And if you haven't got the right information in the caption, then you're going to lose them again. And by lose them, I mean they're not going to take another step. And by that is liking, commenting, tagging, whatever it might be.
Which is key, isn't it?
Well, that's key in the end to making sure that the algorithm works in your favour.
And you keep coming up on their news feeds, true?
Correct. So without the algorithm working in your favour, then you therefore don't appear in people's feeds. And when you don't appear in people's feeds, then there's actually no point to you posting at all.
That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is scary.
So when we're talking about algorithms, I'm not too sure on it, but say like the speed that we scroll at, people in their 20s, teens, like we scroll so quick now, but if we stop on that for like say 10 seconds, am I right in saying Instagram can pick up that feed and go, oh, they find this bit of content relatable, and that's what pushes you onto feeds, onto explore pages and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so how it works is kind of in layman's terms is that, so you got, everyone's going lightning speed through their feeds, we all do it, and then someone lands on you. They're going to pause and the account will be able to tell that you've paused.
Yep.
But then it also looks at what you do next.
Like,
so
comment.
whether you like, comment, share, whatever it might be.
And that pick, so if you go, what's more important, likes, comments, or shares?
So a while back, maybe in November, Mark Zuckerberg came out with a statement that said he's focusing his platforms more on a people-to-people interaction. So what that means is that he wants humans to interact with humans on content.
Yep.
Instead of it being humans and businesses as such. Yep. So it's about me seeing an image that I really love and then tagging you in it and starting a conversation with you on that business's content.
Okay.
And that's ranked higher than any other form of engagement, being like a like or whatever. And then sharing on Facebook gets another little extra boost because you've taken the additional step to then share it with your broader audience.
Wow. So that's sort of a massive nugget there for anyone out there creating content, that copyright. Sometimes it's important to ask a question or tag someone below. Do you know what I mean? There's like a little call to action.
You're actually quite good at it.
Yeah, we do it. We do it a lot. So if you focus on look at our content, I'll be like, oh, tag. We put up one of an AFL person the other day, which is nothing relatable to us. It's lifestyle. We'll talk about it soon, but I said, I'll tag someone that you'd like bump over, like, and everyone just went woof.
Yeah.
And then that makes our content more engaging, and then our stuff comes on your guys' news feeds, and then when it comes time to sell, and we drop collections and we actually post stuff on Instagram. Like there's method behind the madness. We're not just
100%.
we're not just posting for the sake of posting.
No, and asking something of your audience is encouraging them to engage with you. And the more people engage with you, the more you appear in the discovery feed. The more you appear in the discovery feed, the more eyes on your account. Yeah. And so the end goal, I guess, is to be in that discovery feed.
And let's we didn't bring this up last time, but let's talk about a sales funnel. Like people don't understand a sales funnel as well. So let's just put it this way. What's the average conversion rate of an e-commerce store?
I think it's 3%.
Yeah, that'd be high. So it's like between 1.5 and 3%. So you got to think like 100 people come onto your website, you may get 1.5 sales. So that top part of the funnel where it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, whatever you guys do for your social media is super important because that gets people onto your website. 3% sounds not like a lot, but you get 10,000 people on your website. 3% is pretty good, isn't it?
It's decent, yeah. And I think that that's something that people really forget about when they are doing their marketing is like looking at the actual numbers. Like I'm a massive numbers person. Everything is around numbers in a spreadsheet. It's a bit geeky. But what you need to do is you need to say, right, I've got X amount of followers. And then of those followers, how many people like my posts?
Yep.
And then of those posts, how many people are actually clicking through to my website? And then of that, how many people are actually converting? So then of that, how much money am I actually making? Yeah. And then you can work out even if you need to spend money or not spend money or how much money you're going to make, not make for that week, month, year. And I think that a lot of people just push out all of this content, but they don't actually look at the numbers and go, is it worth my time and effort?
Yeah, 100%. And I was telling you this last time, I've only just started looking at numbers. Yeah, and we talked about before, like there's artistic creatives and there's like numbers people, and you need to have a healthy balance. Sorry, and I've got a PA, and she's going to move into operations pretty soon, but she's heavy on numbers. So
numbers is a big part of a business, but it's a split.
Survival.
Yeah, like you need to look at the numbers, but then you also need to have the good content and the creative vision. So it's about working hand in hand, but you can't actually have one without the other.
100%. Because you don't want to be too numbers orientated and salesy, because the way I've explained it in the past, you become like, when you're walking down the mall and there's that paintball guy and he's trying to say you're painful and he's trying to like cut you off and shit. You know that guy? Or like, do you want to lay up? So you become like, hey, can I shake your hand? Like, I talk to you. You don't. There's a form of that on Instagram where you just like so sales orientated, and people can see it because we see so much shit these days in terms of marketing and branding. When we're driving, it's fucking everywhere.
Well, we're bamboozled by it to a point that we're actually disconnected by it.
Yep.
So if you don't have, which we talked about earlier, is the epic content, then you're lost in this world of just everyone screaming at each other and no one really talking to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let's break down the platforms and talk about email marketing, and the importance of it, and how do you use it.
Okay, so email marketing to me is number one. It's key to all businesses, and it's a really good starting platform. It's easier to, well, not easy, I shouldn't say that. You can grow an email database at the same time that you're growing your social medias. But what the difference is that your email database are people that are taking the next step. So they're going to be more loyal to you and more inclined to purchase. And in the end, that's what you want. You want people purchasing from you. It's all well and good liking your post or whatever else, but are they shopping? And email data is usually, well, email customers are the ones shopping with you.
Crazy. So
right.
Good hot tip there. Just to roll off the back of that, how should you email market? Do you only push sales things, or do you?
It's all about telling that story through a different funnel. So whenever you are marketing, whether it's on social media, on email marketing, on your website, blog, whatever it might be, it's all about telling your story and portraying your lifestyle. So it's about a balance between pushing your product and sales, and then telling a story or sharing a lifestyle. You guys do it quite well, is you drop the vlogs, right? So that's telling the story and the lifestyle.
Without
and then
trying to sell.
Without selling anything in those emails. And then you'll throw out a
sale, collection drop.
New collection drop, sale, whatever it might be, as the lead up email to that. That is a good balance. So let's just say you're sending an email once a week, so for a month. I'd look to have like an even split of 50-50.
Yep. content versus sales.
Yeah, so 2 emails that are content, 2 emails that are sales. Obviously, there's times of the year where you're going to up the ante. So Boxing Day and all of those, you're going to send out more emails that are sales-based. But throughout the course of the year, that's how you should split your content.
You need that healthy balance.
Yeah.
So what's the average open rate of an email? Do you know?
Well, it just depends on what industry that you're in.
Okay.
But I think retail's at 14%.
Wow. See, go back to a sales funnel, you think like only 14% of people are going to open up their emails because marketers were fucking saturated. Like once marketers get a hold of something, they just like, you just boom, 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 and people become more aware, more mature, and they realize what emails they actually want to open. So it's about 14%. The second platform, Instagram. Everyone has a massive focus on Instagram. How should businesses market on Instagram?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Facebook and Instagram together, just so I can compare the two. So I actually ran a workshop last night where we went through this, and what I say to people is they're two very, very different platforms. They look and feel is very different, and the way people interact on them is very, very different.
How so?
Facebook is more, these days, a platform where you can push out anything and everything that you want. I tell people to look at it more of like a website. As in you can post blog content, you can share articles, videos, you can have surveys. You can do
anything long form, isn't it?
Yeah, you can do all of the above there, and people have a longer attention span on Facebook than what they do on Instagram when scrolling the feed.
That's true, isn't it?
Yeah, much longer. And they're also there and they're more willing to shop or engage with shopping-based content than they are on Instagram. Another thing on Facebook is video is heavily watched because you can have longer lead videos also in the feed there as well. So that's another way for people, for businesses to get in the eyes of the consumer. You can also share much easier on Facebook than you can on Instagram.
Can you share on Instagram? Maybe just through the stories and shit.
Yeah, do the little paper airplane and send it to someone's inbox.
Okay, yeah.
But you can't actually share the content onto your wall.
Yeah.
And that's where Facebook has one up on Instagram, so people can share the content straight out.
Is Mark Zuckerberg just keeping it that way just to keep his baby at?
Who knows what he's going to do next?
So people understanding the difference between you need to have both for one. And they should be
for sure. Well, Instagram is like completely different again, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about it, it originated as like a photo sharing platform or like a creatives platform to share content. So the way that people interact on there now, it's all about beautiful imagery, beautiful content, nice pictures, storytelling videos. It's more about being inspired and being, I'm just saying beautiful content really. It's not so much about having a laugh with your friends or doing whatever else. Unless, of course, it's like a meme or something that generally gets heaps
I think memes are more Instagram-y, aren't they?
Yeah, they get a lot of interaction too, obviously, because everyone's having a laugh. Yeah. But, so they look at it differently. So, therefore, you can't share a link. You can't share an article. You can't do any of that on Instagram. So, for a business, it's actually quite restricting, particularly if you're a business that doesn't have beautiful content. And then you've got to go find the content. So it can actually be a lot harder. So then therefore for those businesses, Facebook might be the better option.
Yep.
But then obviously in your space, in fashion and anything like that, home, beauty, then Instagram's key because you can share beautiful content and you can have people engage with you in that way.
So we use Facebook and Instagram in two completely different ways Facebook for us is strictly long form. So anything that's over a minute, we post on Facebook. But obviously all our vlogs and shit are on there as well. So that's where our biggest growth has come, not in terms of numbers and like when we track sales, it goes all the way back. Our vlogs are our highest conversion into sales backed by Facebook ads. But what people don't realize on Facebook when you set up a business page is organic reach. The business page for Facebook is it's made to be a paid platform. I read somewhere, I'm not so sure, maybe you do or do not know, organic reach on a page is only like 1 to 5% or some shit like that.
I don't know if it's like there's an actual number. I think people just kind of guesstimate what the organic reach is. But it's definitely lower than your personal account. But that's the same across the board with Facebook and Instagram. So I actually recently did a little test of this on my personal Instagram. Did you
I
kept switching between being Sammy and
Yep.
then Sammy being a business, and just to see how people would interact with my account. And I actually found that my engagement dropped slightly when I switched over to the business account.
People don't realize that as well. So when they switch over their account and they switch it to public figure and they've got 500 followers or 2,000 followers, you've actually it looks cool in your profile, but you're actually doing your engagement harm.
Correct.
Because once you switch to a business platform or a business page, it's in the background of Facebook and Instagram, they think, we need to start paying for ads.
Correct.
To
Or
get
you
their
need to hustle
content
harder. Yeah.
hustle harder, or get your content in front of people. It's a paid platform.
Yeah, and I do things all the time on my account. My friends kind of think I'm batshit crazy. Like I test the waters.
Sammy sweet is. What's she doing now?
Full test the waters, and I post imagery at different times of the day and things like that on my personal account, just to test to see how it will go, and then I'm able to kind of...
When are the key times to post?
I guess it's really dependent on your target audience. So you really need to keep that in mind. I think everyone's always looking for like a quick fix formula. It's like, what's the best thing to do?
Yeah.
But it's really relevant to your audience. However, in saying that, it's pretty clear that the main times that people are active on their accounts. So if you think about your own personal behavior, like I know for me, I wake up, I roll over, I check my phone. So, that time of the morning between 6 and 7, people are generally checking their phones. Then you've got the old lunchtime break. People are checking their phones then. You've got the work commute home. People are checking their phones. And then after dinner, winding down, sitting in front of Netflix, people are generally checking their phones. Or mums have put kids to bed and therefore they're having their time with their wine on the lounge. Like those, if you think about humans' behaviour, then they're the times you should be posting.
It's good time. I think I'm looking to a lot of the articles and stuff about it, and I found one that was super interesting where like everything's on demand now, so everyone watches Netflix or they watch bulk series in bulk, so the ads and that don't really have time. But what they found, like people are starting to watch normal TV now, but they'd rather have the ads on, because when the ads come on, they pick up their phone.
They can have wind down time.
Yeah. So
fair.
that's a good time to target.
I do hate when I'm watching my TV show and then, I want to check my phone and I've missed something, and then you got to go back.
start watching maths, and then as soon as the ads come, just go boom.
Seriously.
Yeah, good idea. Okay, so rolling into that, what with social media do's and do nots. Let's start with that first. One, do you know what one I hate? The follow unfollow technique. That you couldn't do it. You could not do anything worse, could you?
No, and it's like,
actually,
why?
let's explain this. So what that is, like people do. Like they want to grow their followers, so what they'll do, they'll follow. Then it gets to a certain point, you'll get blocked for the day or 24 hours. And the next day they'll just go follow. So if someone follows you, you're more inclined to look at their page and follow them back. So that once they do that, so they'll do that all the way up to say 10,000, and then they'll go unfollow, and you can see it straight away because they have 10,000, and then they have a post with 4 likes. So
yeah, and because there's also now a lot of applications that do that for you.
Bots.
But this is no one go out and get these applications, because what's happening now is Facebook and Instagram, they're not dumb. Yeah, they know that you've attached this platform to your account, and that you'll get away with it for a little bit, and then when they realize that that's what you're doing, your account will become negatively marked, and eventually you'll reach no people at all, and you've just wasted all this money on unfollowing people that aren't relevant to you.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, like I've noticed, because it happens all the time. Like you notice that your own following goes up and then it goes down and then it goes up and then it goes down. And it's because these people are following you in the hope that you follow them back. But whenever I go to look at these accounts, I'm like, you're not even relevant to me.
Yeah.
Like you're not, especially when it comes to Double Tap, I'm like, there's nothing about your account that I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
So those people are then actually negatively affecting themselves as well, because then it's a waste of time.
Another technique a lot of people use, because once the algorithm changed when it was more inclined for engagement, was DM groups. And I didn't realize this was a thing. And then I heard Gary Vee talk about it. He goes, what people are doing, so they'll get like 100 of their mates into a DM group. Like, hey boys, I'm about to post. Can you comment something? And you can sort of, and I think Instagram's already weeded that out already.
Yeah, so what they can do now is what people were doing is they were then dropping the link of their content into the little group, and then everyone would click and go like. But now they're just tracking that, so they can track the link. So then I had a client tell me once that what they did in their little group is every time someone put a heart in the group, you know, you can do that little love heart. They would then all know that they've got to go to that person's account and like their most recent post. Yeah. But the thing is Instagram is still tracking you. Like it can still see what you're doing. So
Instagram's
after a while,
beast,
it realizes, hey, there's 100 people in this DM group that have all of a sudden, after she's posted a love heart,
within 3 minutes,
and like the post.
Yeah.
And then it goes, okay, well, we get it. Like you're getting engagement, but this is really bizarre engagement compared to maybe before. So what's going on here? And then it actually looks at you a little harder. And if anything, you then could be detrimenting yourself even more because they've got a close eye on you.
Don't fuck around with Instagram.
Mate.
You got the smartest people in the world running a social platform. You're not going to fool them, are you?
No, I mean, in the end, I always say to people, like, it is a robot, so you can fool it a little bit because it's not a human. Long. Yeah, but you can't get away with all the things we're trying to get away with.
Okay, let's go into do. So I'm a business. I've got no social media whatsoever. Where do I start? What do I do?
So for me, the key is planning. I don't think that anyone should go into any aspect of their business without planning. And the same applies to marketing. If you're going to start out online, the first thing you got to do is plan your marketing, plan your social media. What are you going to post? When are you going to post it? What are you posting about? Who are you posting to? Once you have that down pat, it's then easier to roll out your marketing plan. You've got more time on your hands because you're more organized. I think that's number one, do. So plan your content. It doesn't matter how far in advance. So I do all of my content 1 month in advance, but that's also so that I have time on my hands to run a business. Yep. Then you could do it 7 days, 5 days, whatever works best for you. So number one is planning. Number two would be engage with your audience.
Super, super important. Well, we've essentially built a business off me. Like there's times I've spent 5 to 6 hours a day replying to DMs, and even to this day, I'll probably reply to about 100 DMs a day.
Yeah, and look, key is to give a face, give a voice, give a personality, give back to your audience. So engaging with them, whether it's a comment or a DM or whatever it might be, positive or negative, you should definitely interact with them back.
I think the negative ones are even more important. And if you reply in a positive way, you find they come around like anyway, either one, end up buying stuff down the long haul, or two, inboxing and go, hey, I'm sorry for that. Like I was having a bad day. It's weird. It's kind of...
Yeah, well, it also is good for your brand and customer service really is to make sure that if it is negative that you're on the front foot and you're replying and you're letting everyone else know that like, yeah, you're okay with the negative feedback and here is how you're acting on it. Sometimes the negative feedback is bullshit anyway. But
we've been we've had a couple of people come through and go, oh, this isn't good enough, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, because we offer refunds. Like if there's a fuck up, I'll happily offer a refund, like within reason, a lot more than other e-commerce stores do. And then like a lot of them going like, oh, if you do that, like they've gone past like obviously like return dates and all that, or they've ruined it on their own. And they go, oh, if you don't do this, like, we're going to post it on our social media. I'm like, yeah, do it. Like, make sure you tag us in it so I can share it. And then, I can show, like, DM messages of all this sort of stuff. And we have done that where we built a vlog and done it in, like, a positive sort of humour way where someone washed their clothes wrong and then, like,
I've seen that one. Yeah.
I made a vlog about how to wash your clothes and sort of, like, took the piss out of it. And I felt risky at the time. But when I look back at it, it was the right thing to do because, like, we weren't on the defensive, like, someone come at us, so we'll just go on the attack. And I said, well, if we're in the wrong, I'll put my hand up straight away. Oh, you'll get your money back. You'll get
100%. And that's what it's all about, too, because it's about, about being positive and then being able to interact with the negative. And as a business, like, you're growing and you're learning as well, and you're only human and you're going to make mistakes. And it's about owning your mistakes. And if anything, the consumer likes that more.
They do. They
kind of like that if you're being an underdog or you've kind of slipped up, but then you're being able to rectify it.
Yeah. And that happened to us again. So we fucked up our Christmas order coming through. Notoriously, November, December, the best time to buy. And we had no stock. I was like, I could have rushed something through and I done a vlog on it. I'm like, I'm not going to bring out a collection I'm not happy with just for the sake of sales. And I got a lot of positive feedback from that.
If anything, people probably liked it more.
Yeah, and then we come into January like...
Suspense until it comes in.
Yeah. And we come into January and it's one of our better months, which is crazy, which everyone's like, don't drop in January. like everyone's gone on holiday, like they've spent their money, they're not going to buy.
The thing is, though, like I hear this all the time. Like, I mean, for me in my industry, everyone does literally go on holidays, and everyone's business is shut down, and no one's talking to me. So for me, as a service-based industry, it's like, shit, January is really bad.
Yeah.
But for product-based industries, like there should never be a bad month. Just because it's January and everyone spent their money at Christmas and then they're on holidays in January, who is not laying on a beach in January playing on their phone?
Yeah, that's true. That's
Like,
true.
just because I was shopping in Jan.
Yeah, so was I. So we've like, that was a big lesson for us, and we're going to plan for that. So it's important to have those little failures along the way. So let's give you a little Instagram, your business a plug. Where can people find you?
We're over at Double Tap Agency on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, and a new business coming. Actually, social media is a weird, like everyone thinks it's easy because they can post their own stuff on them on holiday, but the business aspect of it is so much different. And I've found there's times like, fuck, I want to outsource my stuff as well. So business coming to you, what can they expect to get straight off the bat?
Yeah, so like what I find is a lot of people come to us and they want to learn more. So we created this workshop aspect of the business where we run them once a month.
When's the next one?
The next one is March 19th in Alexandria, 6 to 8 p.m.
I'll put a link in the description.
But so we have that available where we get people to come along to the workshops, teach them the basics, get some upskills. But what we've found is that people realize it's a massive beast and they can't actually do it themselves. So then we create packages, like bespoke packages for each business, because everyone is different,
yes.
amount of content, so on and so forth, that allows for them to either post themselves, we create the calendars and the ideas,
yep.
or we take full control and manage it ourselves. And what
Yeah.
we've found is it's just really dependent on what type of business it is to what people do.
And the time that they have as well.
100%.
Do you know what social media reminds me of? And the business that you're in, it's like me coming to you and like me wanting to lose weight, and you give me a program and go, here, go and do it yourself. And like, how hard is it doing shit on your own?
And whoever loses the weight.
Yeah, whoever loses their weight on their own. Where like if you pay for like your services and you let someone else take control and guide you and direct you, you find you get growth, and like from a PT standpoint, like you get gains. Like,
Well, 100%. So like we have multiple clients where they've come to the workshop, then we've created the content calendar for them and they've done the execution themselves. So by that I mean they still have to find the content and whatever else. We've just come up with all the ideas and told them when they need to post and best practice. And then a couple of months down the track, they're now full-time. We manage their accounts, the whole shebang, because they've realised they just simply don't have the time. And when they were trying to do it themselves, they still weren't doing it right.
yeah, and you gotta let people learn on their own sometimes, don't you?
Well, that's it. Like, I obviously know social media, but a good example is like I don't know plumbing. So I would never go and try fix my toilet if it was broken, right? I'd call the expert in. And I think the same thing should apply to social media.
Is that because it's a new, like, it's kind of like, even though it's like 10 years old, it's still kind of new, you know what I mean?
It's new and everyone has it.
Yeah.
Everyone has it. But the way I post as Sammy Hardwick is extremely different to the way I post as Double Tap Agency. Just because I have a personal account does not mean I'm an expert in social media. And I think that's where it gets a little bit blurry.
And I'll find like if you do spend money on services and social media, your business just grows, and like they become such a big asset because, like we said before, if you don't have social media pages or you're not marketing towards phones and all that, you're not relevant in today's society. It's sad to say, and I know there's probably, like, say there's 40 or 50-year-olds listening to this and they're going like, what the fuck? Like, my business has been around forever, but it's not going to always be that case.
No, and I think like I think I mentioned it on the last time we recorded. As I said, like I use my mum and dad as an example.
Yeah.
My mum is gangster on social media, 55 years of age, and she nails it. And then there's my dad, same age, so like technically same demographic, you could say, and he has absolutely no idea about social media.
Yep.
And that's fine because I market to him in other ways, but I'm marketing to my mum on social media and I'm captivating her there because she's not elsewhere. And then I'm marketing to my dad through Google because that's where he is and that's what he's doing. So it's about finding that balance between who your audience is, who you're going after, and using social media, but then also knowing that more and more people are jumping on that platform. And if someone isn't jumping on the platform, then they're not your target audience. So don't even worry about them. You're going after your audience here on social media.
All right, exciting. Thanks for coming on the show today. If you do want to find her, you can find her at Double Tap Agency. I will get Sammy back on the show later on, and we can talk. We'll probably do a Q&A type and put it on the podcast. So I feel like a lot of people have similar questions. So we'll get her on back in a couple of weeks and we can answer all your questions. Thanks for coming on.
Awesome. Thank you.